Hey, what's up guys? Today I'll be doing an unboxing and first look on the Everlast Elite 2 Pro Boxing shoes. So stay tuned. Hey guys, Carlo here. Today I'm doing an unboxing and first look on the Everlast Elite 2 Pro Boxing shoes. But before I do the unboxing, I want to give a big shout out to the team over at Everlast for sending me these shoes to do an unboxing and eventually a review on. These haven't officially been released to the public as of yet, but I know that Everlast is planning on doing that pretty soon, so keep an eye out on their social media platforms as well as on their website for any updates in regards to the release date of these shoes. Now, with that being said, this is going to be the third pair of Everlast shoes I've owned, and eventually I will do a review on these once I use these and break them in. I did a review on the Everlast Pivot shoes a couple of years ago, as well as the original Elites, and both shoes were really solid shoes. Most notable for their outsole, which is going to be a kind of like a hybrid outsole with the Michelin rubber that they use with that. They teamed up with Michelin to create the outsole, and I believe they use the same technology with the Elite 2s. Now, the pricing on these is going to be the same as the original, at least from what I've been told, which is going to be $99, which is great to hear in terms of pricing. And they're going to have a couple of new colorways with this shoe. Most notably is going to be the all white, which I have here, as well as a dark navy blue. Now, they did have a blue, which is more like a lighter royal blue with the original Elite. So you'll be able to get this in a dark navy blue, white, red, and black. So you have 4 colorways to choose from. And I also believe they only have these shoes in whole sizes. They do not offer that in half sizes, which is kind of a bummer to me still, that they don't have these in half sizes, because it gives you a little bit more precision in terms of sizing, especially for those of you like myself that land in a half size like 10 and a half. But with boxing shoes, I typically go a half size up because they usually run a little snug, and I'd rather have a little extra room and use a removable outsole to give me a little bit more of a perfect fit rather than having a shoe that's too small and then my feet are uncomfortable. So enough with the talking, let's go ahead and open up the box and take a look at these shoes and see how they look. So the original Elites, I really like those shoes because of the outsole. You have more of a hybrid shoe with the Elites, meaning when I say hybrid, it means that it's not like your traditional boxing shoe in the sense where you have a really thin outsole and midsole. The benefits of having that with the traditional boxing shoes, you feel much more planted and you feel much more connected to the surface beneath your feet, whether it's the boxing ring, your gym floor, whatever that may be. You feel a lot more in contact because your feet are almost touching the ground. So it's almost like you're working out with socks on with the traditional boxing shoe, because the sole is much thinner in that regard. With the original Elites and even the Pivots, the sole's a little bit thicker, but because of that, you get a little bit more support. So say you're training in boxing and you're doing mid work, maybe you're sparring, you're hitting the heavy bag, but maybe you want to also involve some type of like box jumps, any type of high impact workout. Maybe you're going to do a couple of laps around your gym that's required by your coach. He's like, hey, you got to go do a mile after this as part of your cool down, or even before your workout. The Elites and even the Pivots have a thicker sole, so it's better on your lower back and better on your joints, your knees, where a traditional boxing shoe or even wrestling shoes don't have that. You can definitely feel the impact. So from a longevity standpoint, in my opinion, I have lower back issues. Take it from me, definitely be very mindful of that. You might not feel it when you're younger, but when you get older, you're definitely going to feel that. So, longevity is a big part of that. And I feel like Everlast has done a really good job with creating a shoe that gives you kind of that longevity that you're looking for. So first things first, you do have this nice shoe box that the shoes come in. Mine are the Elite high top boxing shoes. I got them in 11M in white. These are made in China. I'll show you guys the label real quick. So you do have that label that shows you the sizing, and also it gives you the sizing in other countries. So UK, these would be 10 and a half. Europe, 44 in centimeters. It would be 27.9. Distributed by Everlast Sports Manufacturing, 1900 Highway, Moberly, Missouri. So they're based out of Missouri. So let's go ahead and open up the box and see how the shoes look. So you have that flip open box, you have the paper, and there you have it. Just beautiful. I think white, out of the colors I've seen, I think white looks the best. I mean, it's just clean, white with a little bit of black accents right there. That looks really good. And there you have it. So, beautiful looking shoe. In terms of the design, it looks pretty much identical almost to the original Elites. I would say the first thing, obviously the colorway is different, is the strap that says Elite. That looks a little bit different, that Velcro strap. But in terms of the material, you have that open mesh upper. It looks pretty much the same as the original Elites. So that's the left shoe. Pull out the right. And here is the right shoe as well. Get the box out of the way. Put the box up. Put that away, and here you have it. So you have both shoes next to each other, and I mean, they look sharp. I think they look amazing. One thing I love about the Elites is they don't really look like any other boxing shoe, and by that I mean you guys have seen it. Where I think Nike has an awesome design with the Macho Minds as well as the Hyper KOs. And you've kind of seen other companies do their kind of like their version of those shoes, like their rendition of it, with the strap that goes around the ankle, and then they also have the strap that kind of goes around the toe box to give you that security, especially with your footwork and your pivoting and moving side to side. I think Everlast obviously has elements of that, but I feel like they've done their own design. Like the shoe doesn't look like any other shoe on the market other than the Elites. It has its own kind of unique look, which I really like. So you have just a beautiful looking shoe. You have the open mesh upper. To me, this isn't really a high top or a low top. The pivots are more of like a low top. I feel like this shoe is kind of more of like a mid top shoe, which I think is perfect. Some shoes that they're high tops and the opening of the shoe is like all the way up here. So it takes forever to put the shoes on and to lace them up. It's just kind of a pain in the ass when you have shoes that big. Obviously for a fight it's different because you're preparing in the dressing room and you're getting ready for the fight. But for like everyday training, I feel like mids are perfect. Obviously lows are good because they're convenient, but mids to me, it gives you kind of the best of both worlds in terms of aesthetics. It looks awesome, but they're pretty easy to put on as well. So you have that mid, you have that back right there. There's the back of the shoe. It's more rigid on the rear section of the shoe as well. And you have that rubberized outsole in the heel cup. There's the toe box. And then of course you have that Michelin outsole at the bottom, and it does say Michelin right there on that outer edge of the toe box. So you do have that rubberized Michelin outsole. And again, like I mentioned earlier, the nice thing about the outsole is that it's thicker and it gives you good traction for both using it in the ring. So if you're using this for your fight, for sparring and just hitting the bag, it's perfect for that in terms of the design. But again, if you wanted to go out and do a couple laps around the gym, you could do it in these shoes as well. Now, do I recommend these over running shoes if you're gonna go do road work? Then definitely not. These are not running shoes. But again, if you're to run around the gym and you're gonna pick between these and a traditional boxing shoes like Asics or Mizuno's or any other traditional shoe, then obviously I would definitely pick these over that. So again, it's just choosing what you want to wear on your feet and what makes sense. And again, this to me makes more sense than a traditional boxing shoe. So you have that. You have these white laces with plastic tips at the end. Everlast inserts like a little piece of cardboard to make it keep its shape. You also have all the paper on the inside that kind of keeps the shape of the shoe inside the toe box. And then you have the Velcro strap that comes across. It does have looks like to be a metal opening, a metal rivet that the strap goes through. And then you also have the tongue. The inside of the tongue, again, just has more of the same information, and I'll show that to you guys. I'll read it off if you can't see it in the video. Upper is made of 48% microfiber suede plus 52% polyester. Lining is 100% polyester. Sock 5% polyester plus 95% EVA. Midsole is 100% EVA, so it's a harder, firmer foam. Outsole is 100% rubber. I like the way that they broke that down. I think it's really awesome that they break that down to kind of tell you what you're getting in the shoe. Sometimes companies, they don't do that. They just kind of give you a generalized overview of what's in the shoe, but I like how they break down the upper, the lining, the sock, the midsole, and the outsole into what type of material it's made out of. You do have an insole here that is removable. So again, if you have your own custom orthotics and don't want to use the insole on the inside, you can remove it. I love that as well. Some companies, they don't do that. They glue it in there. So if you want to remove the insole, you got to literally rip it out and there's just glue marks everywhere. And your pretty generic standard insole. I mean, nothing special here. It's made out of foam. You know, it has a decent amount of thickness to it. It's not overly thick. Obviously, if you want something like gel padding or you need something a little bit more thicker for more support, then you have that option on your own to do that if you want to. But you do have that removable insole, which is an added plus in my opinion. I like when they do that. That way you can put your own insole. Now, in terms of sizing, I got mine in 11. I typically wear size 10.5, but I do have wide feet. I always recommend if you're in that half size and you run kind of wide, say you wear 9.5 and you have wide feet, always go to a 10. And the reason I say that instead of going to a 9 and going down is that you can always put another insole in here that will kind of fill it in and make the shoe fit snugger rather than having a shoe that's too snug and you can't do anything about it. I mean, you can try to stretch the shoes out, but no matter what you do, your feet are gonna be just always hitting all in the wrong spots and you're not gonna wanna wear them. So if you have normal size feet and say you have size 9.5 and you're trying to figure out, well, I don't have wide feet, I have regular normal feet and I wanna, and I wear 9.5 normal, do I go with 9 or do I go with 10? Again, I always recommend going a half size up because again, you can remove the insole, put in a thicker insole, which will kind of fill that void inside the shoe. So that's my opinion on it. But looking at the shoe, it looks amazing. I feel like the material is pretty much the same as the originals. I think that the only difference here is going to be this Velcro strap that goes across the tongue. Pretty much feel the same. The looks and the aesthetics of the shoe, the outsole looks pretty much the same. So, until I start really wearing these, I won't really know for sure if they've changed much other than the aesthetics of the shoe. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna change the camera angle just a little bit. I'm gonna slide the shoes in to kind of tell you guys how they initially feel when I put them on my foot to kind of get an idea how these feel at being at a size 11 for me having wide feet. So give me a second, I'm gonna go ahead and put these shoes on and tell you guys how they initially feel. Okay guys, so I have the shoes on. You can see they look really clean with the white and black. From a sizing perspective, with size 11 with wide feet, I typically wear 10.5. These really feel perfect. I feel like the toe box on these are a little bit more roomier than the outgoing model, the Elite ones. But we'll really find out once I start using this in training to see how they feel in terms of like any kind of discomfort. But overall, they feel really good. You get an ample amount of ankle support with that Velcro strap. And they were easy to put on as well. You just undo the strap. The laces come down easily. The sole itself on the inside, the insole as well as the midsole, feels pretty supportive. Considering these are a boxing shoe or a hybrid boxing shoe, you get a good amount of like shock absorption. So if you're gonna use this for training outside of boxing, box jumps, jump ropes, any type of conditioning exercise, then these are definitely better in my opinion than a traditional boxing shoe, which is thinner. But overall, they look really clean and I can't wait to use these. All in all, man, I'm really impressed with these shoes. I think they look amazing. The all white with black colorway is my favorite. My initial thoughts on the comfort, they feel very, very comfortable even for my wide feet. At size 11, I wear 10.5. In terms of sizing, they feel really good. I might remove the insoles and put my own custom insole to make them even more comfortable. But they feel really good. Obviously, I won't really know until I start training in these on how they perform, as well as how they break in and the durability of the shoes. So I'll put the review up here in the next month or so once I break these in. If you guys have any questions or comments, as usual, put them down below. Once Everlast makes these official on their website, then I'll drop the link as well. So I appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you guys later. Take care.